I'm Stephanie and let's talk book, and today we are talking Wheel of Time again. So I have finished book 11, Knife of Dreams, and I'm really excited, pumped for the rest of the series. I don't usually do a review for just one book, but being that this is the last Robert Jordan solo written book before Brandon Sanderson kind of took over and finished after Robert Jordan passed away, and also that this is the first book after the slog, I thought it would be good to kind of have this touch point for my Wheel of Time videos, because it's just such a pivotal and interesting book in the series where you have two very different things going on either side. At least I'm going to assume that the Brandon Sanderson stuff, it's just different because somebody else was involved. So I'm going to kind of go through the different viewpoints, characters, and kind of talk about what I liked and what I didn't like in this book. I'll be bringing up, some of the stuff from previous videos and kind of comparing to what goes in here, but I'm going to try not to be too repetitive. It's a little bit difficult because by the time you get to book 11, a lot of this is kind of mushed together in my brain, and I don't remember what things that I have already ranted about on film and what things I've just ranted to my husband about. So let's go ahead and get started. So first up, I wanted to talk about Perrin and Faile. Perrin is one of my favorite characters, and I have really enjoyed him from very early on in the series. Even when I found a lot of the other characters super annoying, I always loved Perrin. His plotline was definitely kind of a drag through the slog because he is just really upset that his wife Faile has been kidnapped, and yet nothing happens with that for like 4 books. So I'm really happy that we finally got progress on this part of the plot, because while Perrin's kind of attitude change and just being really depressed and constantly thinking about Faile, that wasn't really a bother to me. I know it bothers a lot of other people in the fandom. I was just happy that we are finally to the point where they can get back together, because I like them together and I want them to be together. And on that note, we also had some resolution on something else that really annoys me about the Perrin and Faile storyline. So we have 2 people madly in love with each other. They're married in a committed monogamous relationship, yet each of them has another person who doesn't care that they're married and in a committed monogamous relationship, and they're constantly trying to seduce them away from each other. And it doesn't matter how many times Perrin and Faile say, "Nope, I'm married, I'm not interested in you, please leave me alone." They don't take the hint. I don't know. People in this world don't know how to take no for an answer. Really obnoxious. But I'm super happy that at least as far as Faile is concerned, that dude is no longer a problem. He dead. Perrin killed him. While I think he is a much nicer of a guy than the lady that's been working on Perrin, I'm just so happy that that is not going to be a problem, at least for half of the relationship anymore. I really hope that Perrin gets left alone now, because I really want to punch that lady in the face. Can't remember her name right now because there's 8,000 people in this series, but I hate her. Hate her a lot. So we also get a lot of movement in Elayne's storyline, which again I'm super excited about, because I am ready for this whole, I'm the heir to the throne, but my mom's dead, but she's not, because she doesn't know that. Nobody knows that she's not dead, but anyways, I'm supposed to be taking over the throne, but I did not have the throne yet. Anyways, I get what Robert Jordan was wanting to do and kind of show this different culture where they have a different system for how the crown passes from one person to the next, but it just got drawn out way too long. Too much political stuff that I didn't care about. I know that Elayne's gonna get the throne, and if she can't do it herself, Rand's gonna come in and kick some butt, so let's just put her on the throne and move on to the end of the world coming. Come on, let's go, let's go. Another thing that I really did not like about Elayne is her constant complaining about pregnancy and the fact that she puts all the blame on Rand. I do have a little bit of sympathy for her because once she reveals that she's pregnant, basically everyone around her turns into a complete idiot and treats her super weird and disrespectfully. And I know that's a huge problem for pregnant women in real life, that people just give you unsolicited advice and tell you what to do with your body and your baby. But you know what? It got real annoying. But then she has a moment where she's sitting in it and she's thinking about it and she's like, why did Rand get me pregnant? And I'm sitting here like, this isn't going to end well. So not only does she specifically blame Rand for getting her pregnant, how could he possibly do this to me, when he was specifically trying to avoid seeing her in person, she got her 2 friends to contrive a meeting with him to force him to confront her, and then she basically verbally beats him into committing to having sex with her, and then because she wants to, and she doesn't care whether he wants to or not, she thinks she just deserves to sleep with him. And I'm like, what? This is totally not his fault. None of it. This is all your idea. And then she hears a line about, I probably should have had that anti-fertility tea beforehand, but I didn't. But it's still Rand's fault. How dare he do this to me? And I'm just like... Anyways, hopefully when her pregnancy is over, she will calm down and be a little bit nicer and hopefully not force Rand to get her pregnant again against his will. But anyways, I'm just excited that her getting to be the actual queen, that's done, over with. We can move on. Now I'm just concerned about her being pregnant. Aviendha didn't really have a lot going on in this story. I did really enjoy Aviendha in the beginning of the series. She's kind of one character I've lost interest in, and that's kind of how I feel she is in the book. She just is hanging out with Elayne a lot. Now she's gotten taken off by the Wise One, so I'm hoping that maybe in the rest of the series she will get some more individual character moments, and maybe I will remember all the reasons that I liked her. But as for right now, it's just kind of feel the same way about Nynaeve. I kind of feel like she's not got as much of her own specific storyline going on right now, and so I thought she was fine and her storyline was okay, nothing amazing. I know a lot of people really love her, and I keep waiting and waiting and waiting for me to get to the moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, I understand why you love Nynaeve, but I haven't gotten there yet. I've definitely warmed up to her, but I'm still waiting for that moment. As far as Egwene goes, she's not a character that annoys me like some of the other characters do, but I'm just over the whole Aes Sedai politic-y thing, and whenever there's an Aes Sedai as one of the main characters, my brain just kind of wants to float away and get distracted by things. Again, the whole split tower thing is something that I'm kind of like, alright, I know it's gonna happen, they're gonna fix things, so let me just do it and move on to more exciting things. As far as Rand goes, I love Rand. I always love moments with Rand, and I so wish that we got more Rand, but I will take whatever Jordan will give me for him. I always find his storylines to be the most exciting, the most interesting. I am dying to know what is going on with the voices in his head, if that's real, if it's not real. There's so much stuff about Rand that I want to know and I'm interested in, because he is the chosen one, the hero that is supposed to defeat the great evil, and I feel like he's just kind of a side character at this point. Min's also hanging out with Rand, and she's doing even less than he is. She kind of hangs out and reads books a lot. So I guess that would make me Min in the story, because if there was all of this crazy political stuff going on and evil coming back, I would just want to hang out with people who could protect me and read books and make myself feel good. Well, lastly, I want to talk about Mat and Tuon. Now, Mat is a character that I did not like at the beginning of the series. He annoyed me, and his immaturity just really grated on me. There's something about a certain teenage boy mindset that I really don't enjoy being there. But now I love Matt, and he has really, really become one of my favorite characters in this series. I love his relationship with Tuon. It's kind of weird to say, but I think that maybe they have the most healthy relationship out of all of the romantic relationships in the book. Maybe Nynaeve and Lan you might consider equally healthy, but there's a lot of just weird, toxic romantic relationships going on here. So Matt and Tuon are like a breath of fresh air. It's nice. One of the things that I think makes their relationship super interesting is the fact that Matt gets this prophecy about who he's going to marry, and so we kind of have this mystery. It's like, all right, this playboy Matt, he's going to get, settle down with somebody, and how's that going to happen? And then we learn that it is Tuon that he's going to get married to, and then he learns that it's Tuon that he's going to get married to, and it's really interesting to see him kind of struggle with this idea of, so this is the girl that I'm going to marry? And he's like, not sure, and watching him try to court her, given that she comes from a very different culture and a very different social standing than him, it's just fascinating, and I love it. And sometimes he just falls completely flat on his face, and sometimes he does something and they're like, how did you know that was the right thing to do in our culture? Because we know you know nothing about our culture. So it's really cool. I also really enjoyed learning that Tuon herself got a prophecy about who she was going to marry, and it lined up with Matt. So they both kind of separately knew that they were going to end up together, but they still worked through this interesting kind of back and forth, like, do we like each other? Do we not like each other? Can we stand to be in each other's presence? Are we maybe possibly falling in love? And I'm really excited to see where their relationship goes, and I fingers crossed that they get a happy ending because I love them together. So the one thing that I really wish that Robert Jordan had included in this book that he didn't is a continual growing of suspense about Tarmin Guyden coming. I think one of the weak points of the series for me is that I don't feel like there is a lot of energy or momentum or like pressure. I don't feel what I would want to feel knowing that this great confrontation with this evil one that could result in the end of the world is coming. I think about things like The Lord of the Rings, where every time that Frodo puts on the ring, you see the eyeballs, and then it attracts, ring wraiths and stuff. And so even though Sauron is kind of a faraway figure, he still has that ominous presence, and it occurs regularly enough that you're like, oh yeah, there's this real big bad dude who's lurking, and it's going to get real ugly real fast. And I don't feel like I get that from this series. I feel like so much of the focus is put on to these sort of, not necessarily minor, but secondary problems that have to get solved. And so we have secondary antagonists, and a lot of them are political, some of them are military. But as far as like this evil and the dark and the bad guys, I don't feel like there's a lot going on there. Like, I don't think the average human being in the world of the Wheel of Time has any inclination that anything bad is going on. At least as far as the world ending. We're being invaded, there's a lot of political upheaval, there's men using magic, but as far as like the Dark One escaping from his prison, I don't think they know. And I feel like that's one of the things that is just still keeping me from being super invested in this story. And that was something I was really hoping to see in this book. And I still didn't feel like I got what I was looking for with respect to that. I might do a video at some point in time talking about things that I really want the Wheel of Time TV show to change, or things that I would change about the series if I could, and this is definitely going to be on that list, because even if I think back to the very first book, The Eye of the World, you know, there are Trollocs that are after our group of heroes and they get attacked and they're being chased, and then that kind of falls to the wayside again as these other problems develop, and I feel like we just get a little bit lost in the details and kind of forget the big overarching story that we're supposed to be following. I know Tarmangaiden is coming because there's only 3 books left, but I don't feel like it's coming. So one of the other things that really surprised me was there's not a huge payoff for the people seeing dead people walking around things. That was a big side arc for Perrin during the slog. He goes off on this whole quest to this town to buy grain, and I'm like, why the heck are we seeing this? Because I want Perrin to get Faile, and why are we taking time to talk about feeding an army? And then they throw in the, oh, we're seeing dead people, and I was like, oh, okay, no, I get it. He's showing us that ominous things are occurring, and we're gonna get this whole the world's ending thing. Nah, doesn't really pay off. People are seeing dead people, but we don't know what they are. Are they zombies? Are they ghosts? Are they just some kind of weird vision? I don't know. They don't hurt anybody, just creep people out. And what are we doing about it? Nothing. Just ignore them. You see dead people, just ignore them. Also, buildings are changing. There are doors leading to the wrong places and hallways getting moved around. And anybody doing anything about that? Nope. Anybody perturbed? Nope. Sucks to be you if you get lost. I don't know. I just wish that the characters reacted to these things like they were major, like mind-boggling things. I would be freaked out if I went out my bedroom door and I ended up in the bathroom or the kitchen instead of the hallway. But no. They're just like, all right, plan some extra time to get from point A to point B because I might get lost in the middle. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know what's up with that. So those are my thoughts on book 11 of the Wheel of Time. I am going to be moving right along into book 12 in February, and I'm really interested to see how much of a difference I can see between Robert Jordan's writing style and then Brandon Sanderson trying to write like Robert Jordan. I have heard Brandon talk about his experience writing The Wheel of Time and talking about certain things about his writing that he wishes he could have done better, that he didn't think he did a great job of, that he thought Robert Jordan would have done a way better job at, and so I'm interested to see if anything that I can pick up. At this point, I've read a lot of Robert Jordan. I've also read a lot of Brandon Sanderson, and so that's just something I'm really interested in seeing what my personal experience is with. So if you have finished the Wheel of Time series, let me know down in the comment section below if you could tell a big difference in the writing styles of these two when you got from book 11 to book 12. Please no spoilers, I haven't got there yet, but if you have any general comments about how things are handled, I'd be really interested in hearing what you have to say. So thanks for watching!